Today, on Abrasive and Proud of It Live, we're cutting, grinding, lubing, plugging, sealing, scraping, wiping, and finishing with a... Love it when we're live. I'm Chris, and I'm in the studio. We're going to talk about blades.
And what you'll notice is that it's in the on position, but the tip is not hot. Okay, so I'm not going to burn myself.
Just like that, this is called jogging. This is my kind of jog. I'm not into that heavy physical fitness stuff, so this works out good for me.
Today we're going to be talking about chucks, and the cold jaws would be for taking and holding the bulb this way.
We always recommend leaving at least a 1/16 inch gap. It actually moves up and down and side to side. That are great if you're just looking to get something small to do some little tinkering with.
It's Tuesday at 1 p.m. This is Abrasive and Proud of It Live, brought to you by Klingspor's Woodworking Shop. Today we're talking email specials with Chris Woods.
That's right, Mike. If people haven't gotten the email yet, you really ought to go to the website, sign up for that. There's some valuable savings in there. And it lets you know about, hey, if there's going to be an email blast, then there's likely going to be something where we're going to come on and talk about a few of the items on there. Maybe I'll give you a few little technical tips about the products. And hey, you never know. It's worth it. What's it going to cost you? Just a little bit of time clicking on that link and putting your email address in the box. So today we got quite a few items on the list. It covers a whole range of applications in the shop. So as you can see, with the table's full of a variety of different items. And so we're going to talk a little bit about each one. And a couple of these we're going to pull out, and we're going to just sort of have a little bit more technical conversation about them. So the first thing we're going to look at is cutting. Obviously, if you have got a bandsaw, you need blades. Well, right now we've got our 93.5 inch blades on sale. If you have a 105, well, this doesn't pertain to you. This is for all those who are running the 93.5 inch blades. And get over there, you can save some money. We've got everything from 1/8 inch all the way to 3/4 and everything in between. Doing greenwood, we've got greenwood blade. Doing a lot of veneer, we've got a veneer style blade. So whatever your application, whether it's scrolling or resawing, cutting greenwood or dry, we got you covered with these 93.5 inch Timberwolf bandsaw blades. They're fantastic blades made of silicon steel, so they're a little more flexible. They don't require near as much tension as a traditional blade does, which is nice. So that little dial on your bandsaw, don't bother using that. Use the little flutter test, pop this little yellow card off, and there's instructions on how to perform the flutter test for proper setup for these blades. It's worth the extra time to do it, and you'll find that those that will make the blades not only last longer, but they'll cut better, cut cleaner, and it'll be one of the best blades you've ever put on your bandsaw. Timberwolf, fantastic product line, and I've been using Timberwolf for years, and it's pretty much the only blade I'll put on my saw. So check those out. If you got a 93.5, worth the visit. So the next thing we're going to look at is grinding. I'm leaning right on it here. We've got this Rikon grinder. What a deal. And if you haven't paid attention to some of the demos that Chris has done on Thursdays, he's used this a couple of times to demonstrate how to sharpen and how to set up your Wolverine grinding jig. Well, that same Wolverine grinding jig can work equally well if you don't do turning. Replace the platforms, and you can see in the image there, those basic standardized platforms that come with them. They're very small, not a lot of adjustment. Go ahead and upgrade. We have that option to get the Wolverine, and you can have a nice, huge floating platform to be able to transform this from just a standard grinder into something even better. So not only that do we have in this 8-inch slow speed grinder, is we've also got these Norton wheels. We've got these available in 6-inch and 8-inch. And as you can see, these are good quality white wheels. And what's nice about these is they come with the bushings. So whether your shaft on your grinder is 5/8, 3/4, or I believe 7/8, we got you covered on all of them, and the bushings are supplied, which makes it nice to fit a variety of grinders in that 6 and 8 inch style. But all the 8 inch are definitely on sale. Check out the 6 inch as well if you're looking to upgrade your grinder from the standard wheels to these. Now, these do work best on a slow speed style grinder. So if you've got a traditional bench grinder that's running 3,500 RPM, probably wouldn't use them. Just keep with the wheels that come on it, or buy wheels that are designated for that. These do run optimally on that slow speed grinder, which runs at 1,700 and change RPM. So worth checking out if you're looking to do some sharpening. The nice thing about slow speed is it does remove a lot less material, and this Rikon grinder is very solid, very heavy duty. Comes with these nice guards. Don't remove them for your safety, but very good solid grinder. If you're looking to get into sharpening, good place to start. And well, it's on discount today. So check that out. Now, not only are we going to be doing some grinding, but we've all got machinery that gets a little jacked up over time. Well, we've got this BladeCote, and this works equally well on your machine parts as it does on your saw blades, router bits, and just about any of the other parts that run in your shop. Put that on there. It's a dry coating, which is nice, and it allows that to really create minimal friction, and it prevents it from rust. It also adds a little bit of lubricity to it, so it helps it run smoother, makes your blades cut better, longer, and without having all that buildup of resins and everything else, which is nice, because if you're cutting a lot of wood, especially some of your resinous woods like your pine and things like that, you're going to get buildup. Plywoods also can tend to do that. If you're cutting a lot of plywood and MDF, you get a lot of that resin buildup right around the tooth area and just below the tooth area. And so what this can do is it can help prevent some of that and make it run cleaner and smoother, which, hey, that's what we're all after, right? So not only are we able to lubricate a few things today, but we're also going to be able to show you how to do some plugging. We've got this Snappy 3-piece set. And right now, I don't know if this will be the great camera to show you. Let's see what we got. How about that? Maybe not. Okay. There we go. Look at that. We did it. The Snappy 3-piece, this happens to be the 1/2 inch. Now, this does not create a straight plug. This creates a tapered plug. Well, why does that make a difference? Well, a straight plug essentially is nothing more than like a dowel. And if you're using a dowel to plug your holes, that's fine. Just know that when you cut that off, you're still looking at end grain, whereas with a tapered plug, you can actually cut that on the surface grain, so you get much better match on your projects. Not only that, with a tapered plug, some of the added benefits is instead of a straight where you're just kind of hoping the glue fills in the gaps, with a tapered plug, you're actually able to get that in there. Let's see if I can hold this up to the camera. You're able to get that in there and create a wedge shape. Let me back up a little. There we go. Camera takes a minute to catch up with me. Nice. So on the blue finger, you can see that little plug is wedged, not tapered. Now what that does is as you drive that in, it creates a much tighter, snugger fit, more snugger, whatever the word is. It creates a tight fit in that hole, which is nice because it actually wedges that out some. So when you drive that in, the glue dries, everything's ready to go. You can still flush trim that off and get a nice clean look. The beauty is you can use the same wood species as you are using for the rest of your project, which allows you to really pinpoint the right grain that'll look best for wherever you're trying to plug that hole. So I really like those tapered plugs, and this does come with 1/2, 3/8, and 1/4, which is standard sizes. And being that it's a wedge fit, it does give you a little bit of variance. If your the bit that you're drilling with is a little off or you got a little wobble to it, it does help allow for that and compensate for that. But much cleaner look, much better look, and with the grain oriented the way you like it, the tapered plug offers a much better solution than just buying a dowel and just plugging it like that. So not only are we plugging those holes and all the other things, we're also running a deal on our greenwood sealer. Now, if you've never used this or you don't know what it's for, this is very popular among turners. Now, what makes this popular is the fact that if you're cutting down lumber and cutting down logs, and you want to try to use those logs later, the problem with what they call green wood is that it cracks as moisture evaporates. Well, if you're making firewood, that's irrelevant. But if you're trying to use it for a nice piece of turned art or a food bowl, well, that is a problem because you can't have cracked bowls and products if you're going to try to make something nice out of it. So the greenwood sealer, what that does is you put that on the end of your greenwood, and it creates sort of a waxy buildup. And you want to go in a couple inches on the end, as well, or along the sides as well as the end. What that does is it helps slow down that evaporation rate of the moisture, because what happens is as wood dries, the moisture wants to evaporate out of the end grain. Those are like the open pores, the straws. Whereas when this is a tree, this is how it gets nutrients and stuff to the limbs and fruit, and the rest of the trunk is up through the trunk. It gets these straw-like cells that draw that moisture up. Well, the same happens if these are open. That's where it wants to wick out. So it'll wick out of this end grain before it does the surface of the side grain. And so by sealing that, you slow down that evaporation rate. Yeah, that means the wood's going to stay green or wet a little longer, but that's okay. At least it maintains the integrity and you don't wind up with a bunch of cracks and splits. So if you're into wood turning or carving or any kind of woodworking where you're using green wood or you're trying to get green wood to dry, whether you're air drying lumber or whatever, I recommend getting the greenwood sealer, seal up your end, let it dry more naturally, a little bit slower. And since it's a reduced evaporation rate, you'll find that the wood is much more stable over the long haul and much less likely to be all splits and cracks. So be a winner and get yourself some greenwood sealer. Now, next on the option, I believe we're talking scrapers, I think. Yeah, scraping. So if you're doing traditional woodworking, we've all seen the old square style scraper. Not a thing wrong with it. Been around for the longest time. Typically, these are used to sort of what's called burnish the wood. It creates a nice smooth surface. It takes any fibers and lays them flat and burnishes them clean. Now, sometimes if you're doing flat work, obviously this is the one you'd want. But there are occasions where you've got a variety of different curved applications. So this one has a very slight curve on it. Let's see if maybe we can get it on this camera a little better. Yeah. So you can see this edge has a heavier curve than this edge does. So it helps you have a little bit of versatility when you're doing your scraping. That's handy to have. These are both convex shapes, for those who don't know. Then we've got, this is a slender. You've got your two side edges that are straight, but you also have a convex and concave shape scraper for a variety of different molding applications. And then we've got this, what they call a gooseneck. Now, how this works is this has got a variety of different shapes, constant curvature along the thing, so you can find whatever curvature works best for your application and be able to get right in there and get that clean. Now, if these are too big, now these are the ones that are on sale, but if these are too big, we do offer a little baby pack for those of you who are looking to do small scale stuff. So these are great for moldings, detailed products, doors, things like that, where you've got end grain and side grain. And that end grain, what that does, it really helps you burnish that off. So if you're doing a lot of moldings, feel free to check those out. Learn how to use a scraper. You might find that it creates a little better end result for you. So let's see, what else is on the table? Oh, I guess something to wipe off these nasty hands of mine. So what we've got is we've got these miracle wipes. Now, if you're not familiar with them, they are essentially, as the name implies, miracle wipes. Okay, I'll fix that later. I knew I was going to pull out too much. So when you're dealing with paint, stain, grease, things like that, we've all heard of the different hand cleaners that you have to use water with to get clean. Well, this does not require water. It comes as a pre-moistened towelette, if you will. Normally tears off crisp, but when I'm doing it, it doesn't. As you can see, I got a little bit of paint on my fingers, a little bit of stain on my fingers. So let's see what happens when I take this. Now I put this on, I don't know guys, what, about a half hour ago? Trying to do my nails and ended up getting paint all over me.
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So as you can see, this gets right in there. and gets a lot of that off your fingers, off your hands, off your clothes, off your walls, off your vehicles. Anywhere where you've done a boo-boo, this will do a really good job at cleaning that up. Now, if I could get into there where the fingernail part is, you'd find that it would also get in there and do well on that surface as well. But for the most part, no more blue, no more brown, no more yellow. So these work really well, and this container is self-closing, so you can seal that off if you don't do it like I did. There we go. I found the perforation for it. Now, so seal that off when you're done, and you're ready to put that in your truck, in your toolbox, in your shop, wherever you may need it to clean up a little paint, stuff like that. You know, even buy one for the house. And if you've got kids where they decide to do some weird stuff on the walls, feel free to grab a can of the Miracle Wipes and be able to wipe that off and clean that up very easily without removing or damaging the paint or the surface underneath. So the Miracle Wipes are on sale. Check them out. And definitely a can of these in at least one can per shop, and probably a couple if you got different places like cars and homes and things like that. So Miracle Wipes. Clean my hands perfectly. I forgot. We got one more thing to finish out today. And it's the finishing flap wheel. If you've never heard or seen of the finishing flap wheel, well, you're missing out. These are primarily used for metal applications, but they do have a very, very good woodworking application as well. And this particular one, you might have seen flap wheels that are completely coated with abrasive. You might have also seen the flap wheels that have nothing but the non-woven in them. What these are the finishing flap wheels that are interweaved with both a solid abrasive grain strip as well as the non-woven. This creates a nice, unique sort of sanding application for wood and metal. It allows you to get in there if you've got some metal parts that need to be cleaned up, or some wood parts that you're wanting to create a unique looking finish on, surface scratch. These do real well on all of that. So handy little item. It comes pre-mounted on a 1/4-inch shank. So chuck that up into, drill, die grinder, whatever you've got. I think the max RPM on this particular one, I believe, is 12,000. They will double check me on that by going to the website and confirm, but I'm almost sure it's 12,000 RPM. So quite a handy item to have around if you're looking to do some general items, clean up, surface preparation, metal work, a lot of stuff you can do with it, kind of like the Miracle Wipes, except not for cleaning.
Well, if you check that yellow tag on the spindle, it'll tell you the max RPMs, and it should be 12,000.
Well, look at that. 12,000 RPM. So with that being said, we've learned that Chris was right all along, and that we got a lot of stuff on sale. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't go over to WoodworkingShop.com and check it out. Sign up for the email list while you're there, and see if there's not something else you can fill your cart up with.
Absolutely. And so, Morgan Hop said that those wipes are the most valuable part of this stream to me because my hands are nasty.
Well, I fully understand because mine were until I used the Miracle Wipes.
Dun, dun, dun.
If this was a soft drink commercial, I guess I'd have to turn sideways. But it's not. We don't drink the Miracle Wipes. We use them to clean our hands.
And you can also clean.
We'd love for you to go check it out. And if you got questions while you're there, click that little chat with me button down at the bottom, and somebody will chat with you for a while, answer any questions you got. If you just want to come in and say hey, we'll be glad to say hey back, and shoot the bull with you the rest of the afternoon. Just don't tell the boss that we're wasting time.
You can log in and see that at any time.
That's right. And if you got general emails, maybe you don't want to go to the website and have to chat with us live, you got an email, send that over to sales@woodworkingshop.com, and somebody will promptly reply, hopefully somebody who has an answer to your question. So, and if you're ready to place an order, but you ain't real familiar with that whole website thing, 800-228-0000 is the number you want to call, and somebody live will answer the phone and take good care of you.
Someone in the heart of North Carolina, no less.
And they'll probably sound like they're from North Carolina. It's possible. So I think that's about all we got on tap for today. Again, if you got questions, if there's product you'd like to see more thoroughly, a little more detail on, maybe something that wasn't covered today, something that maybe you've seen in the past, but you'd like for us to cover it a little better, let us know. Shoot us a message, and we'll be happy to try to get that covered for you a little more thoroughly. We're here to help, so chat with us live, call us live, come visit us live when we do these live shows.
So what's coming up on Thursday?
Well, if you missed last Thursday, you learned how to take a beginner's project and do a French rolling pin. Well, Chris is going to show you a couple of more techniques and tips on that, and a couple more different trial runs with some different tools. And we're going to show you how to do a standard rolling pin with a few little catchy features in the handle.
All righty. So look forward to that on Thursday at 1 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be doing Turnmaster Chris Turning Thursdays with a rolling pin with handles.
That's right. So check it out. We'd love to see you there. And I guess this is Chris, and there's no CNC, but I'll still see you later.
Everyone have a great day. Enjoy.